Hey fairies! Welcome back to my channel. I do not discriminate, and I do hope y'all keeping it cool, kind, and classy today. So last time I spoke on the energy, it was very passive aggressive. It was very shaming. It was very guilt tripping. It was very X energy. It was very X energy. And it was just essentially this energy of like really wanting you to come back into their life. Really wanting you to continuously give everything that you have in order to meet this person who has nothing when you are not around, because they essentially are using you to siphon. They essentially are using you to siphon. So not only are you coming out of this, but you are finally finding a new bearing that is essentially yourself. You are finally finding a new, you're just reinventing yourself. You're reinventing yourself. You're working tirelessly to reinvent yourself. So sometimes you have to remind yourself that to work tirelessly is not something you even necessarily have to do for yourself anymore. You've already given so much. You've already became so much. You've already established such a beautiful part of yourself. So I'm gonna lay this out real quick, and I'm also gonna lay this out, and I just feel like that you've established a beautiful part of yourself that is essentially communication with who you are. And you're reimbursing this daily. You're reimbursing this with self essentially every day, essentially every minute and second. And you have moments that you nearly fall back into, what you were taught. You nearly fall back into receiving. Let me make sure this is the right way. Okay, we'll start right here. We'll start on this side. So you essentially continuously nearly fall back into what you were taught, and the construction and like the construct. You essentially fall back into the construct every so often, where you believe that you are out of balance with the universe and you are doing such a bad job at maintaining who you are. So this right here is a day. So this right here is a day, and maybe we'll fall into night a little later. But this is when you wake up in the morning, you say, okay, I got to work on who I am, and I need to consistently communicate with what I want to be able to offer to myself and what I want to be able to offer to others. But then this whole complex comes in of what you were taught in the past, and it is consistent of just making you feel like to fall into what you were taught in the past is to then pursue your confidence. That's how you're supposed to construct your confidence, I suppose. So now that you're coming out of this, you're seeing how beautiful you were the whole time. And this is that energy I speak on quite frequently. This stained glass in the background always reminds me of feeding to your inner child, giving to your inner child, listening to your inner child. And you've essentially been sleeping this whole time on yourself. So you're slowly waking up, and you're seeing how much you've given to yourself. You're seeing how much you've given to yourself. You're seeing how much you've given to the people around you. You're seeing how much you refused to give up on who you are. So great. So great. And I know this is a different style of reading. Oh, okay, hang on, one more thing. So, because you are finally insisting on who you are going to be able to leave the constructs of the society that you have known this whole time. And you will finally come in to synchronization with the people who want to come in for you. With the people who want to come in for you. Yes, so I know this is a new style of reading. My readings won't always be this way, but I did want to switch it up a little bit. Oh! I wanted to switch it up a little bit just to see how I feel about it. I kind of dig it. I like having like a table. It's a makeshift table, but it's a table nonetheless. Just to see what goes on. So yeah, I dropped that on the floor. It is essentially magnifying your truth. Okay? So you've been working tirelessly to magnify your truth, but you've been forgetting what is not your truth this whole time. You've been forgetting that in order to find your full self, you have to let go of what you were taught and the boundaries that you were taught about yourself. You can't go outside of what you know. You can't go outside of what you've learned. You can't go outside of what people have told you about yourself. Because to go outside of what people have told you about yourself means to fully synchronize with all of the gifts that you have found within yourself. So you are coming out of this force field, essentially. You are coming out of this mental construct. You are coming out of everything that you have ever been taught about yourself and everything that you have ever known about yourself. And because of this, you are essentially fully coming into synchronization with who you are as a person. Who you are as a person. And you're learning that who you are as a person is everything that you need in order to maintain not only your inner child, but everything that you need to maintain your inner self. And regardless of what your environment reflects to you, right? Excuse me, confirmation. Regardless of what your environment is reflecting to you, regarding the poverty mindset, regarding the lack mindset, regarding the disregard of you. So regardless of this, you are still understanding that to decipher between who has good and bad intent for you is the most important part about kind of, see, I'm getting something else here. Not only is it the most important part about essentially proving everybody wrong that has told you who you are, but it is the most important part about, I gotta look into this a little bit. Disregarding what you were taught was going to contribute to your inner confidence. Disregarding everything, literally, disregarding everything that was taught to you about what it means to hold confidence, about what it means to be logical, about what it means to maintain a state of mind that is going to contribute to general society, that is going to contribute to your happiness, to your worth, to yourself. So you are finally taking everything that you have been taught within yourself, you're taking all of these little slivers out of your mental construct, and you're saying, no, this is not who I am. I'm getting a lot of pentacles today. I'm getting a lot of pentacles today. Okay, yeah. So I feel like that's just a little bit of, you know, kind of what you experience within a day. Whew. So let's talk about nighttime. Let's talk about nighttime. Let's talk about when things start winding down a little bit, okay? And I just saw the Devil card. Just saw the Eight of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, so this card certainly wants to come out. Okay, so basically during the day, you are trying to establish a foundation in order to receive properly what is meant for you, in order to receive everything that contributes to your betterment. And towards the end of the day, when you don't see any of this rewarded, when you don't see any of this reciprocated, you start to kind of fall out of synchronization with yourself. Okay, so after falling out of synchronization with yourself, then you start to think about everything that put you in the situation that you are currently experiencing. So because you are focused on this heartbreak, because you are focused on, I'm hearing demands. Yeah. And I'm just pulling from right here. I'm just pulling from right here. That's where I split it, and I'm pulling. So basically, this feels like it's supposed to go there. So as you go through your day and you start winding down, you're still looking at everything that you did not receive throughout the day. And you're just sitting there waiting to receive what is yours, when you're so caught up within this heartbreak and everything that you had to give in order to even get where you are today. Which is aware. You are currently aware of who you are. So I also feel like throughout this energy, you essentially are left with choices. You are left with choices. And I feel like you get overwhelmed to the point that you just want to leave. You just want to leave. You just want to leave your environment. You just want to leave everything that doesn't directly correlate to who you are. You just want to leave everybody behind that does not reciprocate your balance, that does not reciprocate your energy, that does not reciprocate your essence. Your essence. So this is not only about your environment. This is about not seeing yourself in people around you. So this is after a whole day and you've been sitting here all day and you've been reflecting and you've been thinking about what you can change about yourself. So the issue here that I'm seeing is that you're continuously trying to change something that is essentially not even in correlation to you. You're trying to take responsibility for something and then you blame yourself for it when you do not reap the benefits of what is yours. Yeah, because I think that this is about being out of touch with your intuition. This is about being out of touch with the synchronization of your love life. And this is about being scared. You are out of touch and out of synchronization with your love life because you are scared to take your power back. You're scared to take your power back because you know that people are going to not only make you feel bad for it, but people are going to make you think that they are better than you, that they have more to offer, and then they're going to take all of your... See, I say magic a lot. When I say magic, I'm referring to everything that is your essence. Everything that pertains to who you are as a being. So they essentially are I've been getting this energy a lot too. They are taking your energy, they are taking your essence, and they are trying to use it against you. They are trying to use it against you in order to make you think that you need them to feel confident, when it is in fact the other way around. It is the other way around. So these people are building essentially mental obstacles within themselves in order to kind of set up a ploy to make you feel like receiving from the universe is a negative correlation, connotation, a recipe for disaster. So that makes you kind of disarm and disengage and put your weapon down. And there's a difference between fighting for everything that you believe in and not fighting for your essence. So it's essentially the difference between putting down your ego and putting down your pride when you know that you should just turn around and take the high road and just overall not fighting for yourself. So there's two different, whole different worlds there, because you can be confident with yourself and you can stand in your power, but this doesn't mean that you're not going to establish negative and narcissistic connections, trauma bonds, if you will, with people who do not have your better interest, with people who intend to take your value and use it for themselves, with people who intend to negate the benefits of your future, with people who overall, wow, this is awful, with people who intend to break the connection that you have with your inner self. And that literally correlates to this. Within breaking that connection that you have with your inner self, you are therefore breaking the same connection with the future possibility of establishing connection with people who are actually willing to reciprocate you. Therefore, ending your journey to self. But I feel the need to speak on the fact that you see above this. You see above this. So you've been at a point in your life where all you have seen is the rock in the hard place. And you are finally getting to the point within yourself where you see more than this. You see that it's not just about being in pain. It's not just about hurting. It's not just about, feeling heartbroken and feeling betrayed. It is simply about looking at your external and saying, this doesn't match me. What can I do within myself in order to contribute to the betterment of my environment? What can I do within myself in order to improve my confidence and therefore directly attract the people who have good intention for me? So this is literally about building your confidence. And you see how these cards are all scattered around this. This is like your internal right here. This is your internal. And this is everything that you are willing to deal with and the little things that you're willing to put aside that essentially have contributed to your environment. So what I'm really getting here is that you're building a foundation in order to build yourself on top of it. But the issue is that you have people in your life, and I'm really getting multiple energies. I'm getting multiple energies with this. I feel that you have people in your life who are essentially trying to come in and take this away from you. But you built this not only from the ground, you built this from inside the ground. You literally properly built, this is great. You properly built a foundation inside the ground in order to create stability, to build it up, to build yourself up right here on top of that foundation. So you are so solidified within yourself that sometimes you forget you're supposed to have healthy connection with other people. Sometimes you forget you're supposed to be able to look to somebody else for support. Sometimes you forget that you're supposed to be able to look for others for guidance. Because you're so busy building this foundation. You're so busy building yourself up. It's hard to build foundation, let alone a building on top of that. Let alone yourself on top of that building. So, this is beautiful. So, now that you are not taking the negativity from others, you are finally building something that is beautiful. I see the reversed 3 of Swords, which is essentially opposing heartbreak, right? Like from my perspective, this is what I'm looking at. So you're essentially giving up, you're like disregarding everything that you have been through in order to receive your blessings, in order to receive your future and your self-worth, and let love in and allow your intuition to thrive within yourself, and allow yourself to establish a royal frequency within taking your power back. Just because you said no to people who have bad intention for you. So I feel like I've been holding this whole time. I don't know where to put it, because it literally does not have a place in your life. This energy no longer has a place in your life. So I feel that collective has tried to essentially force, themselves to fit in with this energy just so that they could maintain a job, just so that they could maintain a house, just so that they could maintain their own stability. But at the end of the day, you are trying to allow something to contribute to this building that you have established, to this foundation that you have established, to this confidence that you have established, who has no intent of allowing you to keep it up, who has no intent of allowing you to keep building at that. This energy, it fully intends to destroy. This energy fully intends to revert you back into old ways and convert you into an idealistic, proper civilian of society that will be so brainwashed that they conform into everything that is throwing their balance off, throwing their foundation off, making them feel worthless, simply because this correlates to others. Simply because this is what other people do. So I'm getting death in reverse. This was just on the top of the deck. And I think I want to think about it a little bit. I do feel like this has a place in your life. Hang on. I'll put that right there. Let me get some clarification. And this energy can go right back where it came from. So, I really feel, oh, that's supposed to be reversed. Okay. So I feel a few things. I feel like first and foremost, you have your castle, right? You have your foundation and your confidence. You're getting it all back. So when somebody approaches you, they see that you allowed death to the old perspective of who you were, to literally who you thought you used to be. And because of this, they see that they cannot get anything from you. Because you are so busy taking it from yourself. You are so busy reciprocating yourself that you are making people see that they never had genuine confidence within themselves to begin with. So basically, I'm truly just getting a variety of energies that want the worst for you. But they know that they cannot touch you because they see directly, even when you have bad days, even when you're insecure, even when you don't fully know what you're doing, this last card wants to come out. They know that they can't take from you and leave you feeling the way that you did initially. All right, Spirit. Is there anything else you want collective to know about this energy? And right away, we have balance. Right away, we have essentially yin and yang. So within this yin and yang, right, you have found yourself. Because you have spent so long trying to block out this balance in order to fit in order to establish that faulty foundation, in order to establish any foundation. So because of this, you are finally coming into yourself, and you are seeing that you have so much to offer yourself, and everything that you have been looking for within others has always been within you. And because you are seeing this within yourself, it is a direct perspective of a new version of yourself. And to become this full self is not to leave any part of yourself behind. It is simply to radiate at a divine frequency in order to attract the people who truly are willing to reciprocate you in the first place. You are not going to have to beg these people. You are not going to have to ask these people, why they didn't buy you flowers. You're not going to have to explain in thorough detail to these people about why you do not feel reciprocated. It's just going to be there. It's going to be black and white. It's going to be yin and yang. It is just going to be. You finally found yourself. You finally have come back to yourself. So it's time to reap the blessings. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop wishing. It's time to stop wanting. And it's just time to allow it. It's time to make space for everything that is yours, and within that, letting go of everything that is not. And this is the projections. And this is the distrust. And this is the disencouragement. And this is just the overall projection of making you feel less than yourself. So it's finally time to go on a journey that is actually based on who you are. That is actually built on a foundation and a baseline and a trust that is so never ending for yourself that at the end of the day, there's nothing that cannot make you feel strong. There's not going to be anything that makes you feel like you didn't work for this. There's not going to be anything that makes you feel like you don't work every day and give your best and do your best in order to be your strongest self. You are finally at a point where nothing can break you. You are finally at a point where nothing can enter your force field without permission, where nothing can tell you who you are. And because of this, you are going to come into divine and immense reward through the balance of the universe, through the synchronization of self. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Y'all keep it cool, kind, and classy.